feeling calm and confident and engaging the audience when speaking in public. I really struggled with that, and I still do. But what I'm about to share in this video, especially the first tip, has really helped me in both of my TEDx talks and in public speaking. And that is, pause is power. Pausing is powerful. We tend to fill up the silence with filler words. And it's not needed. What happens when we do that is our brain is thinking, ooh, what's my next line? I can't forget my next line. And while we are thinking, we're doing the uhs and ahs and So try to catch yourself on those filler words, or ask somebody to catch you on those filler words and replace it with pausing, with silence. Try it out. It's very powerful, because by silencing, you are catching people's attention. The next one is one thought, one look. A lot of speakers tend to look at their notes the entire time, or look down on the floor, or gaze at the back of the room, or switch their heads left and right all the time. You're not catching people's attention. You're not speaking to the audience. So the way to do that is one thought, or one sentence, or one small paragraph. You look at one person in the eye, and then you switch to another sentence, another thought, you go to another person. If you feel uncomfortable with looking people in the eyes, then look at the forehead. It's the same. People are thinking you're looking at them, and that's how you grab their attention. Do you like this content so far? Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. The next thing is, don't clutter your presentation or your speech with too much information. I get it. We want to share as much as we can. We want to give as much value as we can. But by doing that, we're giving too much, and it's too confusing, and we lose the attention again. And so try to have a very clear introduction. Tell them what you're about to say, then have a body with 2 or 3 main points, and then give those points. And in the conclusion, repeat what you just said, what's the most important points, and people can remember that. They can take that in, and they will remember not just your presentation, but you as a speaker as well. Next is, use 30 seconds to a minute to really slow down your pace and articulate very well. Why? Because people don't know you. They don't know your accent, your tone, your pace, your volume, and they need that little bit of time to get used to your voice. And then they start really taking in the content. So if you take that moment to really slow down, they can catch what you're saying. And if you go in full speed right away, you're losing some of them, and they don't understand what you're saying. Don't think that big, famous public speakers are not nervous. They are. They really are. Think about Arnold Schwarzenegger, who said, I froze. I didn't even speak English. I was terrified. And a lot of speakers, they look calm and confident, but they are still nervous. I interviewed so many speakers, also for my book on self-confidence, and they all said the same thing. I am still nervous, but I learned to stay calm. I don't show it. I practice. I memorize. By the way, I made a video about how to really memorize a speech so that you deliver it confidently. I'll link to that right below. Don't start with, hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Rachel Smets, and I'm here to talk about public speaking tips. Start with a picture, a story. The easiest and best way to do that is use the words what if or imagine. Imagine standing on a stage, feeling calm and confident, people watching you, applauding, telling you afterwards, oh, you were amazing. Today, I want to talk about tips on how to really achieve that. Next, don't start without drinking water. You have to hydrate yourself. If you have a dry throat, you really hear it when you're speaking. I'm serious. It's really annoying for yourself and for the audience. So take a sip of water, smear your throat, but drink a lot of water before you start speaking. It's really helpful. Next is watch other speakers, not about the content, but about the structure. What I did for my TEDx talks is I really prepared by watching other TED speakers, really good speakers, not what they were saying, not the content, but how do they behave? How do they use their hands, their facial expression? What's their volume, their tone, their pace, their speed? How do they structure their speech? How do they start? What's the hook? What's the introduction? What's the body? How many main points do they have? How do they conclude and how do they end? Don't end Thank you. This was great. Bye. No, don't think like that. End with a CTA, a call to action. And I'm not talking about selling like, hey, buy my stuff, buy my book. No, I'm saying end with an action. Whatever your speech was about, was it educational? Was it informational? Then end with an action. For example, I was talking to a coach for parents. You could end with, so next time you see your son, tell him this. Or next time you see your daughter, tell him that. Or speaking, next time, watch your filler words and catch them and use the silence. Don't move around all the time. Don't go left and right and move from here to there. It's very distracting. It's very annoying. It's very nerve-wracking. So what you do is you remember skiing. I'm not a ski fanatic at all, but what you do is you click your 2 feet in the ski boots, click, click, and you don't move. So you're telling a story, for example, and you're like, when I was a kid, and then you go maybe 1 or 2 steps to the left, click, click in the boots, stop moving, tell your childhood story. And then, so today I am now speaking to you, boom, boom, maybe 1 or 2 steps back to the other side, click, click, and you continue. Do use your arms, but not too much, not all over the place. And watch how you use your hands, because it's been studied, and I've tested it myself at the university when I was teaching. You tell the same story, and you do it with your hands like this, and then the same story again with your hands like this, and the same story again with your hands like this. It makes a massive difference. So what happens is that when you point your finger, people feel like you're directing them, you're obligating them, and it just feels very aggressive. And then when you open your arms, that's when you're inviting people. Come on, come to me, listen to me, welcome, welcome. It's very inviting, and you invite people's attention. Next is the fear and the anxiety of speaking. The emotion of fear or anxiety is the same emotion as excitement. So every time you're like, ooh, I'm scared for speaking, think about, it's the same emotion. So I am excited about speaking. When I say I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm anxious about speaking, it's negative. And it's like, oh no, I want to avoid it. But when I'm saying I'm excited about speaking, it feels so much different, doesn't it? Now, if you want to know more tips about melting that fear away and that anxiety when public speaking, then watch this next video. I'll see you there.